Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're taking a look at the new Primal Attack Cryolophosaurus. This figure is part of the Soundstrike assortment, which is meant to be a replacement for the Roarvors. I actually found this figure at Target today. Also, you can pre-order it on Amazon. I believe the figure is going to release on January 1st, and it's also available to order on Entertainment Earth. And as always, I'll leave a link in the description to Amazon and Entertainment Earth if you feel like ordering this figure online. So before I crack open this fantastic looking figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging. It comes in the new Primal Attack style box. You have your Primal Attack logo right here, and just above it you have your Jurassic World logo. Owen in blue on the front, little picture in the corner showing how the new action feature works on this Cryolophosaurus, and spinning it around you get a couple full art pictures of the Cryolophosaurus showing off its action feature. And then on the bottom corner right here you have a picture of the other two figures available in this Soundstrike assortment. You have the Triceratops and Pteranodon. These are repaint, slight retools of pre-existing molds. I actually saw both of these figures today, and honestly, I'm probably not going to pick those two up. I'm just really not impressed with the paint scheme on the Triceratops. I actually think it kind of looks ugly, and I've said it before in some of my older reviews, I'm just not a big fan of those large Pteranodons. I just think they are just too big in the line. I like the smaller, battle damage sized Pteranodons. So, I do like this Triceratops mold, but, I'm actually kind of getting sick of seeing it. I really hope Mattel does make a larger Triceratops someday so it just scales better with the T-Rex. But other than that, I am looking so forward to this figure. This Cryolophosaurus was definitely one of my most anticipated figures in this new Primal Attack assortment. So enough chit-chat. Let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. And here is the Cryolophosaurus out of the packaging. And I have to say, this figure looks so much better in hand than those first few promotional images that we saw. I love how Mattel has given us some obscure dinosaur species in this line. I think they announced 17 new species in the Primal Attack line, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. It almost feels like Mattel is becoming mini collecte, releasing these obscure dinosaurs that the general public doesn't really know about. And Cryolophosaurus is a pretty interesting dinosaur. It is from the early Jurassic period. It was discovered in Antarctica. It was actually the first non-avian dinosaur discovered on the continent. And it was also the first dinosaur from Antarctica to be named. Cryolophosaurus was a mid-sized theropod, about just over 21 feet long, and the only specimen known is from a subadult, so this dinosaur probably definitely got a little bit larger than 21 feet. So let's just do a couple quick measurements since we're talking about size. This figure is just about 13 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout, and about 5.5 inches tall to the top of that beautiful looking crest on top of its head. So with those measurements, that'll put this figure just under the 120 scale range. I have to say, I really like the color scheme on this figure. I'm glad Mattel is getting away from that two-tone thing they were doing with some of the dinosaurs in the Dino Rivals line. I'm glad there is a few different paint apps on this figure. The head crest is done in this reddish orange color, and it's actually just a separate molded piece of plastic. Just readjust my lighting, and then you have some nice brown markings along the side of the face, neck, and back. It's almost like a chocolate brown color. The body is this mustard yellow color. It kind of reminds me of the Dual Attack Suchomimus, but it's not as bright colored. And then along the jaw right here, the jaw is molded in white plastic, and you have some more white underneath the throat right here. So really nice color combination on this figure. The eye is painted green with a black pupil, and you can see the teeth are painted in a off-white color. The teeth are painted pretty well in this figure. I only have a little bit of sloppy paint just right above the lip right there, and that's really not that big of a deal. The only other blemish I noticed on this figure, there is a lot of dried glue where they inserted this crest on the Cryolophosaurus and then turning it around. There's just like a little bit of plastic, like a plastic burr right there. I actually do have another Cryolophosaurus on pre-order from Amazon because as soon as I saw this figure announced, I had a cool repaint pop up into my head, so I'm going to wait for the one from Amazon to come in and see which one is the better of the two, and then the one that has like the most blemishes will be repainted. So let's zoom in and take a look at the head on this figure. You can see the head crest is actually very well detailed. You got a lot of nice bumps along the nose right here, and then actually along the crest you got more of that nice texture and these fine lines sculpted in. Even turn the figure around, even the back of the crest has all that nice detail in there. And then you can see this double sail going down its back with some nice lines and more texture in there. This sail on the back of its neck and on its back is definitely not accurate, but I do appreciate the artistic license that Mattel took with this figure. It definitely makes it stand out. And then going back to the head, you can see a lot of nice scale along the lips right here, and inside the mouth the tongue is painted a light pink color with a lot of nice texture in on it, and it actually has a little bit of a gloss coat on it to give it that wet look. Even the gums are painted in pink. And then turn the figure over, you can see there's like a little dewlap just behind the jaw, and that is also painted in white. And then going down to the body, you can see a lot of nice folds and wrinkles, a lot of nice fine scale detail, more of that chocolate banding right there. And then going down to the hands, you can see the hands are not pronated, which is nice to see, but the hand claws aren't painted in. It just seems like Mattel just decides, you know, some figures get hand claws painted, some don't, which I would love to see the claws painted, especially on these larger figures. And then moving down to the feet, you can see a lot of nice scale detail on the feet. The toe claws are painted that chocolate brown color. That's like the same on the upper part of the body, but it seems Mattel kind of skimped on the paint job on the toe claws. When you turn it over, you can see the bottom of the toe claws are not painted at all. And since we have it turned over, here's the scan code for those of you that want to scan it into the fax app. And even viewed from the side right here, you can see the toe claw is very sloppily painted. I have not seen figures where only like the top half of the toe claws have been painted on any of the figures in the line yet. I hope this is not a trend that's going to go forward with this new Primal Attack line. And then going down to the tail, you can see the tail is actually two different colors. That's because there is a different material for the tip of the tail right here. It's kind of like a softer rubbery material, so those two colors really don't match up. It's a little bit distracting, but it's really not a big deal to me. I mean, all in all, this is just a fantastic looking figure. I absolutely love this Cryolophosaurus. This figure does have some decent articulation. Now, this is part of the Primal Attack line, and the main gimmick is, you know, most of the dinosaurs have a control mechanism in their tail that allows them to bite and snap and swing their head around. The jaw on this Cryolophosaurus is actually manually articulated. It means you have to close it yourself and open it yourself. And I actually like that because, you know, on most of the herbivores, all the carnivores just had their mouths agape the entire time, and you had to push the button just to close the mouth. So I do like this option that I can either keep the Cryolophosaurus' mouth open or I can close it as I wish. Now going down to the arms right here, the arms can move forwards and backwards, and there's a hinge so the arms can swing out. Same thing with the legs. Legs can move forwards and backwards, and there's a nice ratchet in there that locks into place in different positions to help keep this figure stable. And it does have the hip pivot that we see on some of these larger figures. And now for the neck and tail, that is tied to the action gimmick on this figure. So what you need to do is just hold the figure by the feet, and you just use the tail right here to raise the head up, and you get a few different roars. Some of the roars sound very similar to the Indominus Rex that you can do. And you can swing the head from side to side. So yeah, a pretty decent action feature. This action feature is just whatever for me. I kind of wish that we just had, standard articulation so I can rotate the head side to side, pose the figure in different ways. But it is a pretty fun feature. Alright, let's move on with some comparisons. Here it is with one of the human figures in the line, John Hammond, and this Cryolophosaurus scales a little bit big with the human figures, but like I said, the only known specimen is a subadult, and this animal definitely got larger than 21 feet long. And this is the other reason I like that you can manually articulate the mouth. You can actually have him close pretty tight on John's arm right there, and then you can really, really thrash him around. I wonder how many times I have killed John in these videos, so thank you for being another victim, John. And here it is with some of the Primal Attack Pack figures. There's the Ornitholestes, the excellent Cryolophosaurus, and the repaint green Draco Rex. And I definitely love the variety of colors that we're getting with these Primal Attack figures. I just think they all look really, really great. So far, I've been very impressed with this first wave of Primal Attack figures. And here it is with some of the larger figures in the Primal Attack line, the new Control and Conquer Carnotaurus and the Repaint Extreme Chomp and T-Rex. And I say these figures do also look great together. I just always laugh how big Mattel keeps making the Carnotaurus. It's almost like T-Rex size, and Carnotaurus was nowhere near the size of T-Rex, but whatever. It is still an absolutely fantastic figure, that Carnotaurus. And also this Cryolophosaurus. They just all look really great next to each other. And lastly, here it is with the Primal Attack, Savage Strike, Charlie, and these two figures. Like I've been saying with the whole Primal Attack line, do look really nice next to each other. So final thoughts on this figure. I absolutely love this Cryolophosaurus. This may be my favorite figure so far in the Primal Attack lineup. It just ticks all the right boxes for me. It's an obscure species that we haven't seen in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World line before. It's a really nice sculpt. It has a lot of beautiful small details on it. I like the color scheme on it. Yeah, it's definitely not an accurate looking Cryolophosaurus, but we don't buy the Jurassic World figures because they're accurate. We buy them because they're, cool looking figures and we're fans of the franchise. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend that you pick this figure up. It retails for $14.99, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I found mine at Target, and a lot of people are finding them currently at Target, but you can also order it off of Amazon and Entertainment Earth, and like I said, those links are in the description. So that'll pretty much do it for this review. I have the Sauropelta and Tarbosaurus coming in from Amazon. The Sauropelta should be here, I think, by Thursday, and the Tarbosaurus should be here a couple days after that, so be on the lookout for those reviews. And I just want to say again, thank you to everyone that subscribes to this channel. The channel recently just passed the 1,000 subscriber milestone, and it couldn't have gotten there without the support from all of you. And if you're watching this video and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, but you're liking the content on there, just show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.